Social Security checks, and the upcoming government shutdown. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to discuss the details of a serious issue in regards to a potential upcoming government shutdown and what this would mean for beneficiaries of Social Security benefits, which encompasses about 70 million beneficiaries who do receive those benefits administered by the Social Security Administration each and every month. Now, I also do want to take a minute to talk about Congress and the piece of legislation they currently have in their possession right here, right now, that they are very, very slowly working on, but they must pass it to avoid a government shutdown. Let's get into it and talk through the details and what this means for the millions upon millions of beneficiaries. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day to help you out in any way that I possibly can, to keep you updated with what is actually going on and to continue advocating on your behalf every single day, as it's a very busy and confusing time. Things are changing rapidly, and again, I want to make sure that you're staying updated with what is actually going on out there, as things are changing so incredibly fast. So again, thanks so much for being here. Please subscribe down below. I truly appreciate your support, and let's get into it and talk about what's going on, what Congress is doing with this legislation, and why there's this possible idea of a government shutdown here relatively soon, and what Congress is doing in a matter of just days. A lot of stuff going on here, okay? All right, so here's what it comes down to. First off, I want to point this out. In a matter of just not that long, couple weeks here, Congress will be leaving for 5 weeks on vacation. Their summer recess, as they call it. As if they haven't had enough vacations so far this year, right? I mean, seriously, they're never there. All they're ever doing is going on vacation. Literally, if anything comes up, they're like, well, we're out of town for the next week or whatever. They're constantly gone. They don't work that much. So again, in a short time from now, they're leaving again 5 weeks, okay? Now, when they come back from that, and potentially before they even leave, they're working on the next 2024 budget for the federal government, okay? This is the fiscal year 2024 federal budget, which must be passed by October 1st in order to potentially avoid a government shutdown. Now, the reason that I'm talking about this now is because, like I just said, number one, Congress is leaving for 5 weeks. Again, we also want to point this out. There's only a handful of days left between now and when they leave as far as how many times they're actually going to be working, okay? Their number of working days is not that many between now and when they leave. Now, historically, over the last several years here, when they get back from their summer recess, they don't get it done, okay? They're only back for like 2 weeks in the end of September, and then it's the end of the fiscal year, right? And then the new one begins. Here's what happens. For the most part, virtually every single year, they come back from their recess, they sit around and they twiddle their thumbs trying to figure out what side is up, right? They try to figure out what's going on. They waste a bunch of time, they get nothing done, and then they come forward last minute, usually the 11th hour, and they pass these things which they call a CR, or continuing resolution, which basically just says they're going to continue the current level of funding until they come together on a long-term solution. Last year, remember last year, 2022? They'd waited until right before Christmas, virtually 3 months later, until they actually got this done and got the new budget for this year, 2023, the fiscal year 2023, okay? My point is, every single year, it's delayed. They almost never get it done by the October 1st deadline, okay? Which is when it's supposed to be done, but rather they're off playing around on vacation for 5 weeks versus getting the work done, okay? I don't know. Seems kind of weird to me. Feels like they should stay there until it's done rather than running off on vacation, right? But anyway, they need that time, right? They work so hard, they need the time. I always say I'm being sarcastic. They don't need that time. They need to get something done is what they need to do. Anyway, here's why this is important. They've already indicated, including Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy, there will not be a CR, a continuing resolution. In other words, we've got to get it done by the deadline. None of this horsing around business, none of this stuff where we're going to continue to kick the can down the road. They've made it very clear. There will not be a CR this year. They must get it done by the deadline. They're currently working on it a little bit right now. But again, this is a multi-trillion-dollar package. It is every single year, well over $1 trillion of spending for one full year for the federal government. So the point is, it's very important to watch this very closely because historically, we have had government shutdowns in the past as a result of this piece of legislation not getting done on time and them not coming together on a continuing resolution, okay? In fact, just a few years ago, a handful of years ago, this happened, okay? So my point is, this could easily happen yet again, okay? Considering what they're saying, which is no CRs, no continuing resolution. We must get it done by the deadline, okay? All right, so now that we understand kind of the backstory of this thing, let's quickly talk about what this means for Social Security because, again, just a few months ago basically the first half of the year or so, no, not quite the first half of the year, but the first several months of this year, 2023, we heard all of this talk about, the debt ceiling. If they don't get a deal done, the government's going to be in a bad place, we're going to default, and we're going to stop Social Security checks and all kinds of business like that, right? Well, every single year when we deal with this exact same situation, this same conversation comes up. Well, what about Social Security? What about SSDI? What about retirement? What about SSI? What about VA? What about SNAP benefits? What about food stamps? All this stuff like this. Well, every single year, this conversation comes up. Here's what happens. Even though it sounds like, whoa, scary, like a government shutdown, it's going to impact all of our benefits. Here's what I want to say about this because, again, we're getting into that time here where it's kind of like, we got a little bit of time here, but we're kind of running the clock down. And considering Congress will be gone for that 5-week period of time, we're really going to run down the clock on that thing. Which, by the way, when they're gone, we still hear a lot of stuff. In fact, a lot of these people go back to their own districts, in their hometowns and whatever place like this, and they have interviews and they go out and talk and do all kinds of stuff like this. This is sometimes where we get a lot of information coming up because now they come out with all their plans because they're trying to pitch an idea to their local, their local districts and places like that, right? So a lot of times when they're gone on vacation, we actually do get a lot of information coming out of Congress simply because they're all trying to stir up a bunch of attention, right? When they're at home, right? They're saying, hey, look at me, everybody, let's listen to me talk about some ridiculous idea and some plan that I have, right? So again, a lot of times we do get a lot of information out of them, even though they're not, sitting in the chamber, drinking coffee and who knows whatever else, playing, games on their phone when they're supposed to be paying attention. So we still do get a lot of information from them. But when it comes down to it, I want to offer this reassurance right here, right now. I know a lot of you here in the community receive fixed income benefits. Back earlier this year, for several weeks there, I was out several times and said, please do not worry about your fixed income benefit. If the government defaults as a result of the debt ceiling deal, this was months ago, by the way, I said, don't worry about it. Your checks will still arrive. You're not going to have any delay. There are laws in place. They are obligated to continue paying you, even if they default, stuff like that. I said, don't worry about it. You'll still get paid. Sure enough, they got a deal done at the last minute, and there was no disruption to checks. Same thing goes this time, okay? I know there's a lot of people out there talking about, if we go into a government shutdown, checks are going to be ending. No, they're not. No, they're not, okay? They have the obligation, even in the event of a government shutdown, the obligation to continue paying. There are laws in place. They've been in place for a very long time now, and these override a potential government shutdown. In other words, let me just say it this way. Okay, this might not be the proper verbiage, but let me just say this. There's basically these laws in place that essentially say these payments going out to beneficiaries are essential. These are essential payments. In other words, they can't disrupt the flow of essential payments, okay? So in other words, as a result of that, these payments must continue going out to beneficiaries. However, let me throw this out there. When it comes down to SNAP benefits, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, depending on how long a potential government shutdown could last, these payments could be disrupted. However, they would likely not be disrupted for at least about a month, okay? So they would have about 1 month of lead time to say about like, we're kind of having this government shutdown situation. We're going to be able to send out payments for about 1 month, but after about 1 month of government shutdown, then they could potentially be disrupted. When it comes to SNAP benefits, food stamps, things like that, those benefits could potentially be disrupted. However, Social Security, retirement, SSDI, survivors, spousal, SSI, VA benefits, no, they're not going to be disrupted. Okay, so I want to throw this reassurance out there for you right here, right now. I've seen this coming up a little bit. It's not a ton so far, but I've seen it popping up a few times in the headlines suggesting we could be looking at a prolonged government shutdown. Okay, fine, bring it. We're still going to get paid. You know what I mean? So they can do whatever they want. We have no influence on this. There's nothing we can do about this. Congress will do what they do best, which is not much. You know what I mean? Not much is their name of the game. But anyway, when it comes down to it, please don't worry about this, okay? I guarantee you this much. we're going to hear a lot more about this, okay? Over the coming days, weeks, and the next couple months here, we will hear a lot more information out of Congress, as well as people out there rattling the cage, trying to instill fear, saying all these benefits will be ending if we don't come together on an agreement and if we don't, have a new federal budget and all this spending and stuff like this. They will get the budget. They will get it done. Your benefits will still arrive. There will not be a delay to your benefits. It's not happening, okay? So I just want to bring this to your attention, let you know, even in the event of a government shutdown, you're good. Your benefits will still arrive, okay? Don't worry about it, okay? The reason I'm making a big deal about this now is because I guarantee you, 100%, we will see this coming up. I'll see this in the headlines a bunch here over the coming weeks. The closer and closer we get to that deadline of October 1st, and the closer we get without Congress having an agreement, the more we're going to see these headlines showing up, more people talking about, oh, your benefits are ending. No, they're not. Just remember, I've told you this before, okay? Just rest assured, okay? There's a lot of other things out there right now we can be concerned about, we can be worried about, we could be losing sleep over. This is not one of them. Please don't worry about it, okay? Hope that kind of offers you some reassurance. And again, I know several months ago when we were dealing with this because of the debt ceiling thing, I came back and 3, 4 dedicated videos, something like that, as we were getting closer and closer, and I kept saying, please don't worry, everybody. You're going to be fine. Your benefits will be just fine. Please don't worry. There were so many nice comments on those videos from those of you here in the community reaching out saying, I really needed this. I was losing a lot of sleep over this. I was getting so worried about my benefit. Same thing applies here. Please don't worry, okay? I'm here for you in any way that I can be. Leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. If you need me to come back and make another dedicated video about this, of course, I can do that for you. Let me know what you need. I'm here for you. Seriously, let me know, okay? Anyway, hope this helps you out a little bit. Again, other than that, enjoy your day. Take care. Stay cool out there. Hot stuff. Seriously. Craziness, right? Hot. Hot. I don't know what else to say. It's just hot. Regardless of where you're located, it's just hot. It's plain old hot, right? You got to get a big old bucket of ice and jump in it, right? So anyway, enjoy your day. Please subscribe down below. Share this video with anybody that you know that may be receiving fixed income benefits so they can also have this reassurance. And other than that, go back and check out some of the thousands of videos here on the channel. Almost 4,000 videos. I know. It's a lot of videos, and it's, my life. Anyway, it's awesome. I enjoy it, and I just want to do what I can for you. Anyway, enjoy your day. Have a good one, and catch you again later.